Hi everyone, my name is David and I'm here to introduce you to grammar on Khan Academy. Welcome, I'm so glad you could join me. So let's start by asking the question, what is grammar? What is this thing? Why is it worthwhile to study it? Why would you want to put up with listening to me? Well, first of all, grammar is a set of conventions and rules that govern language. So what's the difference between a convention and a rule? Well, a rule is kind of the bare minimum of what it takes to make your language understandable by other people, right? So in order to make a car work, for example, in order to make it move forward as intended, the wheels have to go on the bottom instead of on the roof. That's a rule. The idea that all cars should be painted teal, for example, is a convention. Now, is that true, that all cars should be teal? No, not necessarily, but that leads me to my second point, that grammar is context dependent. The kind of grammar that you use throughout your day changes. It depends on who you're talking to, what you're trying to say, and how you're trying to say it. And so we use multiple kinds of grammar throughout our days and throughout our lives. Another thing you need to know is that you already know so much grammar, just from living and existing in the world and talking to other people. You know how to put a sentence together. If you can understand me, then you know so much about grammar. You know more than I can teach you. What these videos are for is to give names to the things you already know, to give you a greater command of them. And I want to say, too, that these videos are only about a very specific kind of grammar. It's called Standard American English. But I want you to know that there are many Englishes. And you know what? They are all great. They are all wonderful and vibrant and important and special. And what I do not want for you to take away from these videos is that I'm trying to teach you what is right and what is wrong. If the kind of English you speak doesn't sound like the kind of English I speak, that is okay. You know, you are great. What I want to do is give you the tools to harness language, to harness English, and use it any way you want. I mean, I'm saying I don't care what color your car is. It could be pink, it could be green, it could be purple, it could be paisley, you know? I'm just trying to make sure your wheels are on straight. You are a grammarian. You have made a study of grammar throughout your entire speaking and reading life. And I firmly believe that you can learn anything. Welcome to Grammar on Khan Academy. David out. What you're going to encounter. Friends, welcome to the English parts of speech. We're going to begin with the noun. Oh, the lovely, wonderful noun. Your friend and mine. They're mostly what you're going to encounter in sentences. Most sentences in English contain at least one noun or a pronoun, but we'll get to pronouns later. A noun is basically anything, and I know that's not an especially helpful definition, but we'll get more specific in a minute. A noun is basically anything at all. Now, the way this is taught in traditional grammar is to say that a noun is a person, place, or thing, which is fine. I think we can make that a little bit sharper and expand that out by saying that that nouns are people or living things, places, things, or ideas. I think ideas is the one that usually gets left out. So nouns can be people, places, things, and ideas. Let's put that in action. So this is Raul. He is from Argentina. He is a penguin. Raul has big dreams. Now, okay, so I want to take these three sentences and find the nouns in them using the test. So the test is it a person or a living thing, a place, a thing, or an idea? And if it's any of those things, then it falls into the category of words in English which we call nouns. So, sentence number 1. This is Raul. What is Raul? Well, Raul is a person or a living thing. So we're just going to say person, so noun. Next sentence. He is from Argentina. Now, Argentina happens to be a place, so therefore it is also a noun. It's a kind of noun called a proper noun, just like Raul is, but we'll get to that later. So Argentina is a noun. Argentina, incidentally, is a country, and the word country is also a noun, because it is a thing. So, sentence the third, he is a penguin. Now, a penguin is a living being or a thing, so we can say, oh yes, penguin, that is a noun as well. So you've noticed I'm not circling he or this. These words are pronouns or relative pronouns, and they can sometimes behave like nouns, but I wouldn't call them nouns. That'll just get confusing. So these are pronouns, and we'll get to them later. Sentence number 4, Raul has big dreams. So here we have Raul again. We know from the first sentence that it's a person's name. So we're just going to say this is also a noun again. And dreams. Now, dream isn't a person, a place. It's not, it's a thing, sure. The reason I put in idea as a fourth category is to get at stuff that you can't pick up. Like, for example, so dream, yes, dream is a noun. Dream is maybe a little tangible because it's something you can imagine, but the idea of like a word like bigness, or if you prefer, size. The size of Raoul's plumage was astonishing. Look at that gorgeous plumage. It's a little penguin mohawk. The size of Raoul's plumage was astounding. Now, in that sentence, size is a noun, but it's not a physical thing. It's not a person. It's not a place. It's not something you can pick up. It's an idea. So that's why I include this fourth category. So, if you're trying to figure out whether or not a word is a noun, just apply this test. Ask yourself, is it a person, a place, a thing, or an idea? And you, my friend, will be golden. You can learn anything. David out. Hello, grammarians. Let's talk about singular and plural nouns. Now, nouns, as we discussed previously, are a type of word. They are a part of speech. And a noun is any word that is a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. And in English, we can figure out, just by looking at a noun, whether or not there is one of something, whether it's singular, or whether or not there is more than one of something. And there's an easy way to tell the difference between singular and plural. So if you break the words down, singular contains the word single. Single means there's only one of it. Plural is maybe a little bit less obvious, but it comes to us from Latin. It comes to us from this word plus, which means more. Which, you might recognize plus, as we call it in English, from mathematics, from arithmetic. We usually say it looks like this little plus symbol. So, whenever you see plural, just think more. Just think plus. There is more than one. Singular is one thing. Plural, more than one thing. There's more. So, let's go through it. Let's do some examples. And I'll show you how you make the plural in English. How to indicate, using your language, that there is more of one thing. So let's just throw out a couple of words. We got dog, cat, dinosaur, and whale. And all you need to do to make it plural is very simple. You just take an S and you add it onto the end like so. Dogs, cats, dinosaurs, whales. So, if you want to make something plural, think about plus, more. All you have to do is add an S, like that. Add an S. This is what we call the regular plural. This is the regular plural. And what that means is it obeys this one rule. All you have to do to say that there's more than one dog is throw in an S. And we're lucky because most English nouns behave that way. Most nouns are regular. However, here's the bad news. There are some irregular plurals. They are not regular, thus irregular. Not. So now we have words like leaf and child and fungus, which is like a mushroom, mouse, and sheep. So how would you can't just add an S to these. That's unfortunately not how these nouns work in English. You can't say leaves and child and funguses and mouses and sheeps. This is how you do it. Each one of these words corresponds to a class of words that has its own unique pluralization standards. So leaf becomes leaves, child becomes children, fungus becomes fungi, mouse becomes mice, and sheep stays sheep, believe it or not. So these are the irregular plurals, and we'll be covering each of these in turn in later videos. But for now, I just want you to focus on the regular plural, which again we can sum up in this way. All you have to do is add an S. Here's a good example, right? So we have one elephant here, and down here we have two elephants. And the only difference between this word and this word is that this one has an S on the end of it. So if we wanted to say that this elephant here was not, in fact, one elephant and was two elephants, all we have to do is add an S. We're changing it from singular to plural. And remember, plural comes from plus. You add an S. So one elephant becomes two elephants. Doop, 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 doop. World's fastest elephant drawing, go! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Alright. It's kind of an elephant monkey, but you get the vague idea. If you're ever in need of more than one thing, for the regular plural, just add an S. You can learn anything. David out.